So switching gears a little bit to something that we tend to normally shy away from talking about, which is mistakes. But as we all know, things going sideways can sometimes actually be the best teacher. So I'm curious about learnings that each of you have mined over the years. And Ariana, if you wouldn't mind leading us off, do you have any learnings that you can share with us on this note?
Sure. Yeah. Learnings are super important at Branch. It's like a big part of the culture to, really embrace failure as an opportunity to be better in the future and to hopefully prevent people from making the same mistakes you did. So I'm embracing it now, and hopefully you guys don't make the same mistakes I did. I think so. When I first joined Branch, there was a lot of commercial work. So I had a large amount of deals that I just didn't physically have the time for. So we largely utilized an outside counsel. They're great, but at the same time, one of the mistakes that I made early on, which I think is more of a junior mistake, is just kind of like letting them run the deal. And so I learned from a few deals that it just really helps to have somebody on the ground within the company that is, I call them like a legal primary, but essentially they own the deal from beginning to finish. So they understand where the status of the deal is at all times. They can really help unblock issues internally that may be slowing the deal down, that sometimes outside counsel doesn't have the capacity to do. Maybe they don't know the internal stakeholders. Maybe they don't understand the company dynamics, or they don't understand like the tactics that you have to go through to get approvals. So to the extent that you can't empower your outside counsel to do that themselves, you really have to take ownership over that. And I think it's a great lesson of ownership to help teach your team. Additionally, just having somebody that can make calls for the business that only the business can make, that's really helpful. And then also on the negotiation front, when you're having calls with the customer, I think it's really important to have somebody from the company there. I think it says a lot about owning the customer experience, being able to run interference if issues come up. You may be able to provide knowledge on an issue that outside counsel might not have that knowledge on, and it's just by virtue of you being inside at the company. And there are some limitations there. The whole reason you're outsourcing it is because you don't have the time. But I think taking the time in that respect goes a long way and actually makes you more effective at making sure that issues don't pop up in a deal that you don't have control over. The last thing you want is your sales VP asking you where the status is of a strategic deal and you have no idea. So I learned that lesson early on, and I've carried it with me ever since. And it's part of the way that we structure our team now. So
yeah, it's really, really great advice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Ariana. Hyland and Haley, do you have any learnings that you'd care to share with the audience?
This is being recorded, right?
You can feel to be as general as you want.
I would just say, don't fake it. It's okay if you don't know an answer and you have to go back to the team and find it. I think try to fake it, you go down a confusing or a bad path.
Yeah, those are really good ones. I would just add that it sometimes it's common for a commercial to be the last one to know, or to be sent something at the very last minute, like scribe this out in 24 hours. Here's all the info. One thing I would recommend, and that I've been trying to work on over the past several years, is getting more entrenched in other parts of the legal team and other parts of the business, so you know what's going on early and often, and you're a strategic partner early on, so that you're not viewed as the last stop, but one of the first ones. And that's helped quite a bit in better deals, more strategic ones, and better relationships overall.